Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Good evening.
Good evening and welcome to this comedy fest coming at you via the internet, where I, Stephen Allen, myself and himself, Eric McElroy, sit down and solve some of the world's problems. The news is full of problems. We'll sort those. The message boards, in fact, we can pop that up. The message boards are open. You can send us messages. We'll solve those. We're pretty good at solving problems, actually. Pretty good, actually. Thank you very much for those who've already bought tickets to watch this live streaming entertainment thing.
Thank you very much.
Also, later on through the show, we'll talk about how you can, if you're just watching this stream for free, you could chuck some money in our pot. But we'll get to the begging bit later on, don't you worry. And seeing as it's just about to start, it's a good time to especially send the YouTube link. Get subscribed to our main YouTube channel. A lot of the chat, it's better if you chat there because we get to see that first. Plus, if you tweet out the link or send it around on your Facebook or your Insta Pops, I don't know, then we can spread the word and get more problems solved. But I think within the space of less than a minute, I've just managed to do all the setup. So I think we're ready to kick on to the stories.
That was rapid fire, I have to say. And you know what? I'm going to give thanks for that, Steve, because today is the problem. The problem today is not really a problem. It's the problem of the greatest holiday in the history of mankind and the world.
Pancake Day.
Do you know what that is? Do you know what that is, Steve? It's Thanksgiving.
Oh.
And because I live here in the UK and I've lived here for the last 20 years, I'm missing it once again. 20 years in the UK, and I want to talk to you about Thanksgiving. I want to talk to you about the meaning of it. And could you cue the music here, Steve? It's very important that we get the right tone for this. Nothing like the dulcet tones of Kenny.
Fade it down.
All that magic of Thanksgiving this year has been ruined by people that you like, scientists. Those dirty motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Look at this headline. Look at what they've tried to do to our sacred holiday. The CDC pleads with Americans to avoid Thanksgiving travel because it's the busiest travel season of the year when people go home to their families so they can see the people that they moved away from. But Americans have been warned. Basically, if you go home for Thanksgiving, just like the same propaganda they're trying to give us here about Christmas, oh, if you go home with COVID, you'll kill grandma and she won't make it till the next Christmas. Well, we're not accepting that bullshit in America because we don't believe in people like you, scientists and ruiners of lives and everything else, because this is a shot of an airport in America right now that happened yesterday. These are people told not to travel by the CDC. Look at them, all lined up. I mean, I don't like the fact that they're in America and they're in a queue because that makes it look like they're British. But look at them. They're all just waiting to go and kill grandma because you know what? Nothing says Thanksgiving in love like making sure you infect the rest of your family with the disease that you could easily wait just a few more months until there's a vaccine and then you could visit everybody, because why does Thanksgiving have to be in November? There's no reason. There's no history behind it at all. They just made up the day and the holiday.
I love the fact that many people, if they're staying where they live, they all live in the airport, which just goes to show how much Tom Hanks really inspires people.
They're getting on a plane, Steve. It's just a very big plane. I don't know why they're all in one big queue. So this Thanksgiving is going to be different. But the point of the holiday now, I mean, if we forget about the indigenous peoples that we killed.
And you're very good at forgetting about that.
We're very good at forgetting about that. We learned that from the British. There's things to give thanks for. Thanks for friendship, like the friendship that you and I have. Thanks to our viewers, for the viewers that watch the show. Thanks to the people who bought tickets. Thanks to the people who give us money on a really special holiday. But also, it's thanks for other Thanksgiving memories. And this is one that goes back a few years. We all remember Sarah Palin, right?
Oh, yeah.
She was governor of Alaska before she became a nitwit. And just like the president pardons a turkey, or some people call that turkey, General Michael Flynn, but that's a different subject, the governor often pardons turkeys as well. And this happened a few years ago where Sarah Palin pardoned a turkey. And here's the moment after the pardon.
Plans are all around.
She's there. She's talking about stuff. Who knows? Seeing the Russians or whatever. And there's the turkey. He's going in the thing where they chop off the turkey behind her during the shot. And at the end of it, I didn't play out the whole clip. At the end of it, there's a bit where the guy who's not paying any attention just looks over. It's like, cutting off the turkey's head. And that, Steve, is why America is the greatest country on earth.
By your own metrics. Yep.
What other metrics are there? Well, actually, we don't use metrics. We use imperial measurement. But there we go. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I do feel sorry for America because this must be... I imagine how hard it must be to try and find anything to be thankful for during 2020. But you're right about we talked about it on Tuesday, actually, the turkey being pardoned by Trump. And I was sat afterwards, after the show, having a think. And it just goes to show how bad Trump has been for people's faith in America. Because whether it's to do with the things he gets up to, all the fake news we hear about him, I remember thinking, even though he's pardoned that turkey, I still kind of think the turkey might be guilty. I just got that kind of vibe to it. It's just the whole thing's corrupt, isn't it? So
the problem now is the turkey can't take the fifth. So if the turkey gets asked any questions in court, it can roll over on Trump.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that you get to go first with this, though, because we know it's happening with our Christmas, but it's good that we get to see what happens with Thanksgiving. Then we get to see if there's like a massive spike afterwards.
Yeah.
Probably won't talk anyone out of Christmas, but you're effectively a really good petri dish. So well done.
Well, you guys went first with Brexit. You showed us what could be done, and we followed up with Trump. So we're just returning the favor.
Okay, nice. Well, this is going very well. I'm sure nothing bad's going to happen because of this.
Should we see what people have commented about my Thanksgiving montage?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Kenny G. I finally got some Kenny G in the show. Nothing better.
Chris says, good evening from Tier 3. And Mark says, likewise, a case of Tears Company, three's a crowd. Already strong work in the comment section.
Exquisite Tenderness, how you doing? Good. Thank you very much. Exquisite Tenderness. It's very nice to hear from you. I just came. Oh, well, I'm hoping that's from the Kenny G. That's what I used to. Anyway, that's a long story.
Heather, can you see Heather's comment? You want to read that one out?
Can I see Heather's comment?
I'll do it for you. If not, Heather says on Twitter, by the looks of it, what's with the facial hair, Eric?
What? Well, this is. Because I shave the beard when I want to do the Billy Bob character, and so in order for him to come back in the next 8 weeks, I have to start growing the
Take his
beard now.
vitamins.
Because I'm not like Steve, where I'm just chock full of testosterone, and that's what you didn't shave this morning, right? This is already like a week for me, so it takes a while.
This is as trimmed as it gets for me, yeah. Also, I do think it's because after the show on Tuesday, we messed around trying to work out how to get even sharper resolution on your camera, and I think this is the first show when people can actually see the detail of your beard,
rather than me looking like I've rubbed coal on my face. This is it. You can see the whiskers there coming in.
Blend in with the northernness.
My mother's going to send me another strip of teeth whiteners after this one.
Exquisite Tenderness on Twitter is also having a full list of the drugs that they're on. Fair enough. But also says Santa has COVID. Should we let him in all of our homes? I've actually got a theory on this. Boris it almost made it into the show. Boris Johnson said yesterday that that Santa will be allowed to travel during lockdown and all this stuff. Actually, it depends, because if Santa gets the alert on his phone telling him to self-isolate, then it looks like you'd end up having to have Christmas 14 days later,
right?
Which means giving gifts during the sales. So if you're a parent, I'm just saying, maybe you want to imply that happened.
Cough on Santa is what you're saying there. Let's see, what else have we got here?
Andrew says, we are British. Hurrah! Command and conquer.
Look at that. Kenny G, someone passed me the sick bucket. Oh. I know you're a regular viewer, Chris, but no.
Best bit of the show. Best bit of the comment. Dissing the Kenny G in front of Eric.
Do not. American history is bollocks. No, it's not. It's a book. It's right here.
There it is. The entire. Let's have a look at the width of it again. That's
that.
All of their nation's history.
That is 6 inches, guys.
That's why you don't swap to the metric system.
That's why.
Exquisite says we've got food that's older than America. Probably true.
Yeah.
And then we'll leave some more of the messages. Good God, it's getting busy. Keep it coming through.
Keep it coming. There we go.
Cool.
Right.
Although we will mention Exquisite, then it's mean. Steve hasn't that much testosterone by the hairline or lack of it. No, that's the problem. Too much testosterone.
Yeah.
That's why the forehead starts up here.
That's what does it, right there.
The heat's coming off this brain. Good God.
There's a lot of heat. And you put up the subscription link, and if you're enjoying what you're watching, you can at any point spontaneously give us a drink or a turkey. Turkeys aren't cheap.
There's a joke about turkeys going cheap. No, they don't. You think of the canaries, something like that.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Chris has bought us a drink, even in spite of the Kenny G. Thank you, Chris. You know what? If you give us enough, we'll never play it again. I like him, but not that much.
Yeah, maybe we just never play him again. Anyway, just saying.
No.
So, Right, let's crack on to the next. You can keep the money coming in, the comments coming in, and keep sharing the link. I got another problem for you, though, that I'm going to solve. This is the problem of finding out which tier we're in. I think, if you live in the UK, we've had a rough day of it because we got to find out the official details of the latest system. We talked on Tuesday about how the curfew was changing. This was actually made official. The 10 p.m. curfew is now a weird situation where it's last orders at 10, but 11 o'clock when you actually have to leave the pub. And look, yet again, when they put the curfew in at 10 o'clock, even though scientists didn't say 10 o'clock was good, just some politicians thought, oh, we can have a go at this, coming up with the numbers, and they totally arsed it up. It still won't work, because even the most stupid person can find their way around the system of 10 o'clock last orders, 11 o'clock leaving the pub. It will go like this. I'll have a pint, please, mate. All right, it's last orders at 10, but you can stay here till 11. 15 pints, please, mate. It's just going to happen. We're going to be even more. You can't stop Brits getting drunk, I think, is the main news. But so we now know which tier we're in. The UK's been broke down into different areas and the different tiers for it. It was so exciting. It was like getting your A-level results, apart from more accurate, because it wasn't just guessed by your tutor. And I'm not necessarily happy with all of the results. Here's the map. This is when I was watching the live conference Downing Street thing earlier on. And what I like about this is the BBC sound guy, the BBC Sign Language guy, looks like he's trying to point to, where is it that I live again? Which is the small little... It's good that there's an international sign language for that. But if you look at it, you have 3 tiers, medium, high, very high. We've done videos on how stupid those names are. Very few places are in tier 1. There's just a little bit of Cornwall. And if you look down the bottom, the Isle of Wight. Oh. Interesting that the Isle of Wight manages to be in tier 1. Look, I think they're doing pretty well because they're isolated, because they're an island, and their infection rate will stay low. At Christmas, because we get this weird system where 3 families can meet up, we're all going to travel the rest of the UK and spread diseases, but on the Isle of Wight, people will be sat there with their mum, their sister, distant cousin, their auntie, and that's just one person. And that's really going to push the R number down. And it's very easy to imply that the reason that the Isle of Wight's got a low infection rate is because they're isolated and inbred. And of course it's not true. Sadly, we can prove it's not true thanks to this. In Kent, in Swale, one of the worst places in the UK for the infection rate, the Isle of Sheppey has got one of the highest infection rates. And look, it's effectively an island if it weren't for that road. So they're isolated and inbred, and they're still getting the disease. So it shows it's nothing to do with those 2 factors. This is the Isle of Sheppey. We talked about this recently. It's in the Swale area. In fact, we've got a headline about Swale. COVID rules disregarded as Swale becomes the second worst hit area. Oh, this bothers me so much because the studio's in Kent, so I used to be in tier 1. Then we went into national lockdown, and now we're coming out into tier 3. Very much feels like that lockdown didn't work. It's like going into hospital with a broken toe and coming out with, MRSA, and that does happen. So actually, I should have expected it. But it annoys me. The reason because we were lower than average. I'm up near the Thames, they're down near the Medway, and they're going around spreading diseases everywhere. Swale has upset me. So I say to Swale, Faversham, more like Feversham. They're not coming back from that one, are they? This is satire. This is teaching them.
No refunds, guys.
The sheer stupidity for not wearing a mask. Slam. Lays down on the sofa all day watching Netflix because we're in tier 3, you idiots. Slam. So I think I've sorted them out.
Are you done?
I think I'm done. I mean, I spent a lot of time looking at that map. But I want to get to the bottom of why I and Gravesham have to be in tier 3 because people in Swale are doing whatever they do in Swale. To find out why they're so rancid with diseases, I'm joined on the line now by someone who's from Swale. Hello, and what were you? What? Oh, I think we know why they've got the diseases.
You're just getting creepier and creepier. I mean, we got the 9 to 5 weird singing thing from last week. Go back and watch it if you can't, if you're struggling to stay awake. because it'll just give you nightmares. And then we had you as the dominatrix on Tuesday, and now whatever that was.
It's not even the creepiest thing I've recorded for today's show. You will wait till you see what my second topic is. But anyway.
You got to stay around for that. Definitely. There we go.
We should have some message on this. Chris saying...
But you did say that it's an island, even though it has a road. And a road does not stop an island from being an island, Steve. I would think you, as your Mr. Science dude, would know that.
Yeah, that's why I put it in as a caveat. If it weren't for that island... Sorry, if it weren't for that road, it'd be an island.
No, it is an island. You have the land is not connected. The road is not.
I don't know if that one is actually. I must admit, I don't know if that's one of those roads that's on a little bit. I don't know if it's one of those roads that you can't drive across at high tide. No, the main road is a bridge, but I don't know about the other one. Whether it's I don't know.
Well, then it's a peninsula, and it's misnamed like the Isle of Dogs, as we discussed. But that's just to trick Americans. So, all right, what have we got in the comments?
Chris,
and don't forget to subscribe, and Kofi. What have we got here?
Chris saying, the Isle of Sheppey, ye old homestead where men are men and sheep are frightened. There we go. It's not just me doing the inbred jokes. We can do the sheep jokes as well, because if you live on an island, that's what's going to happen to you.
Yep.
Pubs new happy hour 10 till 11. Brit says on YouTube. Exactly right. Everyone's going to be slamming down the pints.
We're gonna crack that code. It's not tricky. What was this one? Andrew, did you see Andrew Bernard Matthews? Okay.
Oh, say that again. That's going to really go down well with the British listeners.
Bernard Matthews. Okay.
Bernard Matthews. I like turkey, and I have. When I eat turkey, I eat Bernard Matthews turkey.
Is that a name of a turkey?
Bernard Matthews. That's a name for a turkey manufacturer.
Bernard.
Bernard.
Bernard. Bernard.
So
I still don't understand what even if you say Bernard.
Bernard. It's not a difficult sound, is it?
Bernard.
Bernard. How can you not do
Bernard?
Bernard. Just go Bernard. At the end.
Bernard.
Oh God. Mark says we have the Encyclopedia Britannica. Eric has something found in a Happy Meal.
My father gave me this in 1980. No, it doesn't have the date anymore. 84.
Oh, in that case, I apologise. If that was printed in 1984, it probably has at least another third of the length added to it since then. There's a lot of American history that's happened since the 80s.
There's a lot that happened.
I
graduated from high school. That was about it. So that is a special book. Anyway.
Britt says, please promise to never lick the screen again. No. Do you know what I was surprised at? Because it sounded like... Because I used to have a cat, and when the cat used to lick things, you could really hear it rasping. And you could hear it when I was licking as well. I didn't realise I've basically got, like, cat taste buds.
You've got cat tongue.
Got cat tongue.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Certainly beats a penis shot. Good point, Mark. Eric's the one who's now brought 2 peni to the show.
Don't ever rub your penis against the camera.
Although it would unlock it. That's why I don't.
Oh, here we go. Technically, the Isle of Sheppey is connected to Kent. It's just covered in water. Well, that's every island then connected to every other fucking island, Mark. I mean, I know you normally bring the facts to the commentary, but Jesus Christ, if you drained all the water off the earth, yes, you'd have one big continent. Not having that.
That's a good point. I've been watching a Ride Isle of Wight webcam 24-hour a day, and I saw a bus move the other day, says Utah. It's all happening down on the Isle. Good Lord.
What is this they want me to say? Where did this go? Ask Eric to say mirror. Mirror. I looked in the mirror. How do you say it?
Mirror.
That's what I said.
Okay. Trump is probably introduced on page 3 of that book. Hello to Paul Taylor has just joined in, and Daniel's just joined in as well. Welcome along. So we're barely even halfway through all the topics, but keep the messages coming through. And if you're enjoying the show, chuck some money in the pot would be very much appreciated as well. Eric, I think we need another problem from you.
Problem. Let me see. What is the problem that we've got here? Oh, this is a big one. 2020 has brought us a lot of problems, haven't it, Steve?
Yeah.
It's brought us your 9 to 5. It's brought us you're doing the dominatrix.
Me licking the screen.
And the pandemic. It's hard to prioritize which worse. But 2020 has brought us a real problem. What do you do with zombie minks? I'm asking. What do you do with a mink as in the animal, that is a zombie. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this is what I'm talking about right here. They culled some minks in Denmark because apparently there was a problem with them catching COVID and spreading it. And they've started to resurface after they were buried.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying. So, it's a bit weird, right? So this needs some backstory. So we've got a little bit of the backstory here. This is kind of what happened.
Denmark is reporting that it's found more than 200 people since June infected with strains of the coronavirus related to minks.
Yeah. So basically, somehow the minks were spreading the coronavirus. I don't quite know. And I do know that video said underneath, you might have noticed, it said graphic things coming. So there's more to the story, but it is quite graphic. So the way that the minks were spreading the coronavirus, I'm going to show you that now, but just prepare yourselves. Oh, there they go. Look at the little minks.
Oh, you little minks.
Just going at it. Those actually aren't minks. I spent a lot of time Googling for minks mating, minks fucking, and my search history, I've had to clear it a few times today.
Did you accidentally type in Manx having sex? Because there's a lot of videos of that.
Yeah, that not in tier 3. That's not allowed.
That's Liverpool.
That's not part. So basically, the reason why they're rising up is because apparently they culled the minks because they were somehow spreading the COVID, and they buried them, and then apparently their gassy corpses were rising up out of the soil. That's what was happening. I'm going to show you what that looked like right now. There they are. Look at them. They're feeding on that poor man. Look at he's trying to get them to go away, but they want to eat his fingers and everything else. They're just chomping away. It's so disgusting. Oh, he's trying to get anything. Those weren't minks.
How far down the Google page for mink sex did you go to find that video?
That is a bizarre thing that I actually saw that thanks to another comedian named Matt Green who tweeted it. But this is a real dude. Here's the headline, because I checked it out. He is a retired Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer who has found a new career as a raccoon whisperer. And so he has got, Steve, almost 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. All of his videos. I know, I'm thinking about, we got to get some, we have to start feeding. What do you have in the UK? You have no wildlife here.
Foxes.
Badgers?
I got foxes around there, and there's some cats out the back having sex
and to be
as well.
fair, you're in tier 3. Your badgers are probably gaseous and COVID ridden. It's bizarre. I mean, I don't know if the thing is, it's very sweet that he's done that, but I don't know if I'd want to go around his house for a meal. Because, you take a bite of that, you're cutting into the burger, you're like, this tastes different. He's eating the raccoons. That's what he does. All right, that's not what the zombie minks look like. This is what the zombie minks look like. You can find anything on YouTube.
Oh, God.
Just, you're thinking, what would be a zombie and a small creature? It's all there. All right. I've shown you a few fake zombie minks. I know you're all desperate to see the zombie minks. Here they are. This is an actual picture from the site. Now, what we don't know, it's a little bit gross. When you're looking at that photo, I can't tell if that's the minks being dumped into the ditch or if that's them leaping out of the ditch. I'm not really sure.
Can I just say, they don't look that hairy there. Have they still been...
Of course, they took the fur. These people aren't animals.
Well, they've not been culled because of COVID then. They've just been... This is just some bullshit excuse to manage to kill more mink for the fur.
You can wash the fur. You're not going to waste. Waste the fur.
So none of them had COVID.
Grandma needs a new coat this year.
Maybe one of the mink coughed, and that's it. They thought, right, we're on some money here.
Discounted mink's fur. It's a big problem.
Well, that was absolutely terrifying, I must say. It's gone absolutely crazy in the thing as well. Mark says Alvin and the Chipmunks. Oh, no, they've not skinned Alvin and the Chipmunks, have they? Imagine if they get COVID.
There was the song by the Cranberries, the zombie song by the Cranberries, that there's apparently some chipmunk versions of, which I thought about putting in the show, but I wasn't really familiar with the genre of the Cranberries because Kenny G never covered them. So
no, although it is Thanksgiving and cranberries would be exactly right up your street. Boom.
Hey. Nice.
Britt says from now on Eric needs to say that's no mink after every pic or vid. That's no mink.
That's no mink.
Only in
you have to pay
America. Only in
For
America.
requests, you have to pay extra, by the way.
The links
We're
were
going
in
to turn this into Cameo. Start doing birthday wishes. Where are we at? Mira. Yeah, Mira.
Chris says, only in America do you get raccoon whisperers and ferret fiddlers. They voted worse into the presidential office.
Look at that political satire. Look at that. Let's see. 2020 also brought us shell ducks, vestibular bulbs, and my willy fascination.
Yes, although Shex dolls. That's what that says there.
Oh yeah.
There's more on the Shex doll. There's some, right, Chris, I know you're a big fan of the Shex doll. I can't even remember which early episode it was that made that a catchphrase on this show.
It's really old.
We got Shex doll news. So look, wacky, wascally wackoon whisperer in a Bugs Bunny voice, says Paul.
There we go. Okay. Well, let's see. Oh yeah, Andrews pointed out it looks like the raccoon guy looked like Trafalgar Square feeding pigeons in the 1990s.
Yes. Yeah, we should just go, because there are pigeons. Actually, because in Gravesham, by the Thames, there are swans. We're well known for having swans in this portion of the Thames and in the Medway Canal, the Thames Medway Canal that's been mentioned on the show more than any other live stream. There are some swans in that.
Your swans are going to be dirty, though. COVID-ridden swans.
It's tier 3 swans. You're not going to go
tier 3 swans. Let's see.
And Paul says, Mink's porn. Wow, now we're in new territory. Not according to Eric's search history. That's still the shallow end.
Prairie dogs, but, you know.
Damn, it was. Right. So, if you're enjoying the show in any capacity, throw some coins in our Ko-fi. Buy us a drink. If this were a show and at the end of it you'd say, oh, I'll get these lads a drink. Pop it in the pot and it keeps the bizarre coloured lights on.
There have been a few more come through, so thank you very much if you put a drink in.
Yeah, Ko-fi.com/comic solving problems. Right. Time for another problem.
Yeah. How
do you solve and sort out what's happening with sex dolls? For some reason, sex dolls, they're always in the news, and I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing that people are having romantic attachments to these things that they're just having to the sex with. I noticed this in this story. Bodybuilder finally marries beloved sex doll in groundbreaking ceremony. Now, much to unpack in this story, and let me say right off the bat, I love that phrase, don't yuck my yum, if that's what you're into, good. There's no judgment here. There's no judgment here, apart from a little bit of judgment as we go through the story to look at this. There's a guy called Yuri who popped the question to Margot in December. That must have been just a long wait. The question. Do they talk now? But also I like this fact. The wedding was earlier delayed in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. Why? Because, look, again, no judgment, but she's one of the few things that's wiped downable. You can make sure she's fine with a COVID. Also in the story, here's the picture of them. There you go, that's the couple. And as you can see, unrealistic body, no brains in there. And that's bodybuilders for you. She looks fine. They do kind of suit each other, don't they?
They look... which one is the sex doll?
Sorry. Sex doll. The which one's the sex doll? The one with the nipples that show you how cold it is out there.
To be fair, we can't see hers.
No.
So.
I mean, you can. I'm sure you can if you ask, because apparently you can ask her questions. Also in the story, there was this bit. He first met her at a nightclub. Did he, though? Because why would she... How could she be... Are you sure he didn't meet her brother, the security camera? That seems more likeable as a storyline. And I can't even remember what the next bit is. Oh God, it's a picture of them. Look, again, no judgment. But it's a lot of effort to marry a sex doll. And there must have been. There are two awkward bits in wedding ceremonies. The bit where whoever's officiating it must say, if anyone knows of any legal reason why these two should not be joined together in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace. And loads of his friends must have been like, are you going to say it? I'm going to say it. I'm not. What, I mean, probably would have been the most tense moment, other than the bit where whoever's doing it also said, repeat after me, I, sex doll, just a pause.
Wait, before you go on, can you go back to the picture of them getting married real quick?
Yep.
The guy just to the left of the groom, that looks like Jared Kushner.
He looks like he's not real as well. It's her brother.
That's her brother. No, well, Jared Kushner kind of looks like a sex doll.
He does. I mean,
does take it from behind. Anyway, sorry. Please carry on.
So again, look, I really am trying to not make this judgmental, because I do think there's a lot of judgment happens in newspapers, like weirdo get sex doll, and I've tried to do this on stage where it feels like there's a moral argument to be made in favour of sex dolls, because the concept of using an inanimate object to have sex with is hardly the male domain. Like vibrators and dildos, using technology to have sex. No one seems to mind. In fact, we're living through a renaissance of openness about women doing it. And if anything, they've just replicated the peen. Whereas at least the bloke's making every part of it there. It's not just getting the bits that I want. Whereas women are just like, sod the rest of it. I just want the penis. Whereas blokes have the entire thing. You could try and put together an argument that somehow that's more emotionally valid. And there's no point putting that argument together, because at some point one of them will be interviewed on This Morning just going, I like how her hair smells. So look, there is some oddness in these relationships, but it's not our position to judge. Indeed, maybe doing so is breaching the rights of the sex dolls. And to find out more about this, we are, oh God, even I'm scared about doing this bit. I'm surprised we've not done it before. We're joined on the line now by a sex doll. Hello.
Hello, big boy. Sorry, force of habit. Hello, Steve.
All right, so you're a sex doll rights advocate.
Yeah, I think that we deserve the same rights, because we're like you, Steve. If you tickle us, do we not laugh if you've paid for that upgrade? If you prick us, do we not fly around the room letting the air out? So...
No, that's not how that phrase works at all, actually, no.
Well, I think we do a lot of the jobs that humans don't want to do.
Like what?
Sleeping with some strange people.
Oh, thank you for joining us.
Okay, see you tomorrow night.
So... It's an interesting one, isn't it?
That was freakishly arousing. Can I get her number?
God, no, sadly she's gone. She's gone.
What is wrong with you this week?
The problem is, right, with this show, because we're not really paid for it, we just, barely get enough to pay us back for the technology we bought. The only thing that I get out of bed for these days is like, what can I do that's different this time? And that's why using face replacing things to make myself vaguely look like a sex doll, yeah, why not? Not done that before.
Could you at least keep it... I mean, I know we shouldn't judge you based on genders, but I think it would be less creepy if it was a male sex doll that you talk to.
Nah. Nah, it wouldn't work, would it? We'd have to have written a different punchline.
We're going to spin off a whole series of sex doll related sketches.
So have a look. Oh God, there's some messages coming through. I don't know where to start on this. We should go back up to the top.
Where do we go? Let's see here.
Andrew says, zombie swans, let's do this. They can break your arm. Wreath a mink, tie a ribbon to their tails and sell them as furry balloons. Sorted. That's nice, isn't it? If they're floating up. Yeah.
What has Britt said here? Trump is the first president to not have a pet. I bet he was secretly breeding the zombie minks. Yeah, nice. Although, to be fair, he did have his son Eric.
Yeah, good point.
So,
well made.
There was that.
Chris says, use of soft detergent is fine and doesn't damage them, apparently. Talking about the mink or the sex dolls?
Yeah. Would you? All right. I don't want to know how you know that, Chris. Let's see what Paul has said. Who gave her away? The doll factory customer service assistant.
Oh, beautiful. Waddled her down the aisle.
Where are we at here?
Mark says, surely the last thing you'd want to do with a sex doll is pop her.
Yeah, popping that cherry. Oh, dear. Let's see. Paul's also said she's taken the mick, getting married in white.
Well, you never know. They might have made it special and waited until...
Yeah, I bet he waited.
Yeah. Otherwise, you void the warranty.
He might have got her upgraded. Or downgraded.
See,
anyway.
we're all doing it. I know I feel bad for it because the whole thing, I was trying to approach this as like no one should be judging other people for their sexual habits. But you also don't need to put a press release together and send it to the Daily Star. So
the problem is that once he gets married, you inevitably have less sex.
And
how disappointing is that to marry someone who is a sex doll and then still...
She's just a doll now.
Just a doll now.
Always happens, doesn't it? Paul says she was number 2895 off the factory line, and Mark says, the 2000 series.
There we go. Let's see. Is she on the jury with you?
No, sadly, because of the COVID, I was never called in, so I never got to do what I wanted to do. This week, meant to be on jury service, wanted to stand up and go, objection! And the judge says, you can't object, you're a member of the jury. And I go, withdrawn. I've been practicing that for weeks.
All week. You should have done it in a southern lawyerly voice.
Objection! Why, I do declare we are here to ascertain the verisimilitude of my client's defense. You're a member of the jury, sir. Withdrawn.
You make fun of the way I say mirror. Let's see. To think Series 1 was quite mild. Now it's gone. Naked Attraction.
Yeah. And Mark says, I wonder if... Oh, I'm not even sure if I could read that one. I wonder if he cleaned her out before the ceremony. I guess we say it out loud.
You can say it. Yeah, just wonder if we should have said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should look. You can't judge anyone in the comment section because you loaded a clip in of a boy's penis on the show. So you've lost moral high ground. When you say it like that,
it wasn't a boy, it was Superman's penis.
Boy. Do you realise Superman's not real and was played by an actor, a penis-having actor, and you put that clip. You put that clip on the show.
Fuck you, not on Thanksgiving.
I'm not thankful for you giving us that. Keith says, hi guys, are we going to hear any fears for tears tonight? Should have thought of that.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to do the musical Tears thing.
Yeah, 50 Ways to Leave the White House was going to be Paul Simon.
So many things. We're so busy. It's very hard for us to keep up with everything. Right.
Paul says he hosted down afterwards for sure. Well, it's tradition, isn't it? I think that's what it is.
That's what happened at my first wedding.
You got to get the confetti out of there, haven't you? So.
Right. So now that we've creeped everyone out once again, if you enjoyed it, you can throw us a drink. That's very much appreciated. Even a couple of quid goes a long way. But what even makes us feel happier is if you subscribe to the channel, tell people about the show, and especially, we appreciate everyone watching. We know someone contacted us the other week that they're on hard times as well with COVID, so they've been telling people about the show. We really appreciate that because the more people that watch, the more people we can creep out. I mean, the more problems we can solve. Sorry, I got that wrong. And keep sending us your problems. We try to get to them if we can on Twitter and that kind of thing, and we do really appreciate that. And we're still kind of in lockdown, so still no gigs.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I mean, I'm tier 3, so I definitely can't gig.
Are you even allowed to leave tier 3?
No, I don't think so. I think they send in food aid parcels, and the people of Swale will lick them first because we know what they're like.
So the swans aren't going to last for long.
Not around here.
Swans for Christmas. Otherwise we'll be back next Tuesday and 9 o'clock UK time live. You can catch up all the previous episodes on YouTube. We put up little clips on there as well as on our Twitter feeds if you want to check things out.
Shades of North Carolina says, of North Can USA says, let's hope Valley of the Dolls, the sequel, isn't forthcoming. Ooh. And I wonder if you booked a honeymoon for 2 or saved a few quid and stuffed her in the hold.
Mark said, deflated her first, put her in hand luggage.
Do you know what? It's a shame you weren't around earlier, Mark, because the idea of some sketch where he says to his missus, you look a bit deflated, and then just blows her up again would have been, but we didn't do it.
It wasn't time.
It's always more silly jokes to do on the show.
Next week. Yep. There we go. So follow us on Twitter, subscribe. Thanks very much for watching.
Yeah, till next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.